This is the story of Taiwo Awoniyi.
Awoniyi. Still Awoniyi! He's got it! He's got it! Oh, look at the crowd go crazy!
A proper centre forward.
Oh my word! Goals 14 and 15. The 24-year-old is not just a huge talent, he's unstoppable.
In 2022, Awoniyi signed for Nottingham Forest, and in the process finally made it to the place he'd always wanted to be, the Premier League. Way back in 2015, at the age of just 18, Awoniyi joined Liverpool, but he was not granted a work permit to play in the UK. That led to a whistle-stop tour of Europe, with 7 loan spells in 6 seasons. An odyssey that toughened him up mentally.
Those journey, those experience, different session, different atmosphere, different coaches every year. I always said to people, not in an arrogant way or something. I think for you to survive those situations, you have to give kudos to yourself.
Forest are Awoniyi's 8th club in 8 years, but before all that, he was a boy with a dream growing up in Nigeria. Here's how he became Taiwo Awoniyi. Ilorin in the southwest of Nigeria, a city of more than 1 million people, in Africa's most populous nation. On the 12th of August 1997, the son of a police officer was born here, along with his twin sister. Taiwo is a unisex name, meaning the first twin to taste the world.
Football is just like a lifeline for my family because it changed a lot of things. Because getting the money to buy football shoes, getting the money to eat sometimes is quite difficult. But my parents was able to send everyone to school, which is the most important thing. They are able to do that, and which I'm very grateful to them for. But it was not an easy journey, to be honest.
In 2015, Awoniyi won another youth tournament, the Under-20 African Cup of Nations. With 3 goals, he again played his part in bringing the trophy home. A few months later, he joined up with Liverpool, but his journey to the top was still just beginning. He was immediately loaned out to German 2nd Division side FSV Frankfurt. And the spell was not a fruitful one for Awoniyi. He scored just 1 goal in 13 league appearances. To make matters worse, at the end of the season, Frankfurt were relegated. Awoniyi returned to Liverpool, but without a work permit, he had no prospects of playing in the Premier League. Back in Nigeria, this is the Awoniyi family home. Taiwo's mother Mary is doing her daily workout. She remembers how her son got started with football all those years ago.
As I went to the market, I bought a ball for him. He started telling me that, Taiwo, don't play ball. I said, leave them. So since that time, started playing this ball.
Initially, Taiwo's father Solomon had a totally different plan for his son's future career.
I want him to go and read doctor. He said, Daddy, I won't read doctor because I will not be patient like a doctor. So I give him money to go and do jump. It is that jump he take run to Odeogbolu, Imperial Football Academy.
Taiwo got his way and promised to give back to his parents once he had made a name for himself.
There's one day, he called me. He sing one thing to me, say, tí mo bá lówó, máa kọ́lé fún màmá mi. Tí mo bá lówó, máa ra mọ́tò fún màmá mi. Tí mo bá lówó, máa rán màmá mi lọ ìlú òyìnbó. Ìkan tọ́mọlúàbí bá ń ṣe fún òbí rẹ̀, máa ṣe fún màmá mi.
But in 2016, that still felt a long way away. Awoniyi was sent out on loan again, this time to Dutch side NEC. Again, it didn't turn out well. He was even dropped to the under-21 side. After again suffering relegation, in 2017 his third loan spell took him to a third European country, in the form of Belgium and Mouscron. He remained in Belgium the following season, this time joining up with Ghent, which gave him a chance to perform on the big stage in the Europa League. But he failed to score a single goal with the club, and the loan spell was cut short in the winter. A return to Mouscron shook Awoniyi back to life. He scored 11 goals in 16 games, but on his return to Liverpool in the summer, he still didn't have a work permit. At his boyhood club in Ilorin, the Unicorn Football Academy, Awoniyi's old pals were still waiting for their hero to make a splash in the Premier League. But they knew he was stuck in a difficult situation. Players from outside Europe would only be eligible for a work permit in England if they played regularly for their national team. But playing in a smaller league made it tougher for Awoniyi to get a call-up for the Super Eagles. A catch-22 for the young hopeful. Fortunately, Awoniyi had learned all about discipline and motivation from his youth coach.
So a gbé àwọn èèyàn tó pọ̀ lérí wọn láti fà wọ́n pé ẹ wá síbí train àárọ̀ ọ̀sán alẹ́ even tá bá gbá match tán láàárọ̀ báyìí a tún máa train lọ́sàn torí talent tó wà lórí yẹn àfẹ́ kúkú talent tèmi ti lára wọn yẹn ló mú mi wo mọ́ wọn pé ẹ̀yin o ẹ̀ ní bọ́mọ mi lọ́wọ́ màá try láti ṣe dáadáa pẹ̀lú yín so Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ gbà fún mi bẹ́ẹ̀.
In 2019, though, Awoniyi's career still seemed up in the air, but he did earn a move to a bigger league finally. He was loaned to Bundesliga side Mainz on the recommendation of Jurgen Klopp. But again, he experienced a tough season with just 1 goal in 12 appearances. A full international cap and with it the prospect of a work permit looked far away. In 2020, Awoniyi began his 7th loan spell since moving to Europe. But this time, with Bundesliga upstarts Union Berlin, things finally clicked for the striker. He scored 5 goals to help the East Berlin outfit to a stunning 7th-placed finish. And that total could have been higher if it weren't for injuries.
Taiwo Awoniyi, he is just unstoppable.
Union were so convinced of Awoniyi's talent, they spent €8.5 million to sign him outright. No more loans. Finally, Awoniyi felt at home.
Awoniyi, die Försterei ist jetzt deine Heimat. Awoniyi, wo Awoniyi, wo Awoniyi,
And that was all he needed. Awoniyi scored 15 goals in his 2nd season at Union to fire the club to the Europa League and also become a regular for the national team. On top of all that, 20 goals in 52 Bundesliga games made him Union's record top-flight goalscorer.
And for me, I think that is the key in football. I think when you find yourself in an atmosphere where you are appreciated, I think a lot of things will happen to you as an individual, not only in football but in the world as a whole. And I think that is the difference for me.
Union gave Awoniyi what he needed, and the big man paid them back. And of course, he's also given back to the woman who gave him a ball in the first place.
And today I thank God. All the promise that she promised me, she fulfilled it, and I've been in Germany before. She have make a building for me. She have buy a car for me. So it's a good child.
In summer 2022, Awoniyi finally begins his Premier League adventure at Nottingham Forest, a club back in the top flight after 23 years away. The sleeping giant that won the 1979 and 1980 European Cups has woken up. Now, on their return to the big stage, Taiwo Awoniyi will be leading the line.